Merhaba arkadaşlar, ben Toprak Deniz. Bugün Brawl Stars E-spor izliyoruz. E-spor'da bakalım ne olacak. Hep birlikte göreceğiz. Humble takımı İtalyan takıma karşı oynuyor. Evet. Hep birlikte göreceğiz. O gün sesim çıkmamış. Şimdi sesim çıkar büyük ihtimal. Sesi biraz kıstım çünkü. Büyük ihtimal o yüzden beğenmemişsinizdir. Şimdi sesim duyulduğu için beğenirsiniz büyük ihtimal. Bana destek olmak için like atmanız önemli tabii ki. Bir de abone olursanız efsane olur. Bildirimleri de açıp tüm yaparsanız efsane olur. Bu arada az önce Mavi Kral Frank kostümü vardı. Şöyle biraz daha kıstım. Net duymanız için. Mavi Kral Frank zor alınan bir kostüm. 15.000 puana ulaşmanız lazım şeyde. Supercell Store'da. Bayağı bir zor alınıyor. Bu arada şey gelecekti. Pekka eş kostümü gelecekti. O kostüm hala gelmedi. Ben ona şaşırdım açıkçası. Çünkü ben onu alacaktım. Bir türlü alamadım. Çünkü gelmedi. Sadece Supercell Store'da satılıyor o bu arada. Puanlarla birlikte satılıyordur. Ama umarım 15.000 puan değildir onun fiyatı da. İnşallah öyle değildir. Yoksa alması gerçekten zor olur. Şu an Humble takımı İtalyan takıma karşı 1-0 mağlubiyetle başladı. Oha be kardeşim, çüş be. Bu arada bu da Marco. Marco çok iyi oynuyor bu arada. Bu maçın evet gördüğünüz gibi soru da soruyor. Marco diyeceğim ben burada. Marco çok iyiydi. Gördüğünüz gibi ödülü de aldım. Bunu oyun içinde de gelen kutusuna geliyor. Oradan da alabiliyorsunuz. En sonuncu ödül de rozet. Çok havalı bir rozet. Onu da alırsam göstermeye çalışacağım. Onu da söyleyeyim şimdiden. Bu arada siz de buraya gelip ödüllerinizi alabilirsiniz. Hatta ben linkini koymuştum. Daha önceki e-spor maçında hani çektiğimde söylemiştim, hatta açıklamalar kısmına linkini koyacağım. Oraya gidip oradan gidip kayıt olup şey yapabilirsiniz diye, ödülleri alabilirsiniz diye söylemiştim zaten. Umarım öyle yapmışsınızdır. Yapmadıysanız şimdi gene yapabilirsiniz. 23 Mart'a kadar geçerli. Onu da söyleyeyim tekrardan. Oha! Humble kaybetmiş. Humble hiç kaybetmezdi bu arada. Humble takımı paslanmış sanki ya. Çok kötü ya. Eclipsar e-spora hiç, yani diğer e-spor takımlarına yenilmemişti. Humble takımı ilk defa yenildi. Humble takımı bayağı güçlüydü. Şey gibi, Zeta Division gibi güçlüydü. Crazy Raccoon gibi, bir de Çılgın Raccoon gibi. Ama kaybettiler ilk defa. Ona şaşırdım. Bu arada şey de var. E-spors bir takıma karşı oynayacak. Şimdi onun maçı olacak. Şey olacak yani. E-sports'a bir takım oynayacak. Bakalım hangisi kazanacak onu göreceğiz şimdi. E-spors bu arada Türk takımı. Onu da söyleyeyim. Team Electros başka bir ülkenin takımı. Team Electros dediğim gibi o başka bir ülkenin takımı. E-sports Türk. Tekrardan söyleyeyim. Ama oyuncular yabancı sanırım. Türk takımı ama yabancı oyunculara sahip herhalde. Bu arada bere yakışmış. Ah be Humble. Nasıl kaybettiniz ya? Gördüğünüz gibi şurada boss yazıyor ya. O Mavi Kral Frank kostümü işte gördüğünüz gibi. Ah be Humble, ah be. Nasıl kaybedersin? Eclipse'ları yenseydi bu arada. Eclipse E-spor'u yenseydi Humble. Belki %50 ihtimalle Foot E-sports'ta oynayabilirdi. Yani Alman takımıyla Türk takımı Alman takımı Türk takımına karşı olurdu. Baya efsane olurdu ama olmadı işte. Evet, burada bu maçı kim kazanacak? Foot Sports diyeceğim. Yapacak bir şey yok. Bakalım yüzde kaç seçilmiş? %64'lükle seçilmiş. Güzel. Bu arada bu kadının adı da Sun'muş. Sun'muş yani. Sun diye mi okunuyor? Onu şey yapamadım, çözemedim. Son herhalde.
So whilst we are still recovering from the two matches we just seen, first SK Gaming out of the way, then Humble. We want to talk about the teams who made
Humble niye yenildin abi ya? Her takımı yenen takım birden kaybeder oldu. Team Electros bu arada Ukrayna'nın takımıymış galiba. Herhalde öyleymiş ya da başka bir ülkenin. Oo, Red Bull. Kanatların nerede? Yok tabii ki. O hafiflik anlamında bu arada. Hani içince direkt şey olmuyorsunuz. Kanatlarınız çıkmıyor. O rahatlama anlamında kanatlanma. Bazı şeyler yapmışlar. Bazı kişiler şey yapmış. Red Bull'u bu yüzden şikayet etmiş. Ben bunu içtim demiş. Ben bunu içtim ama kanatlarım çıkmamış demiş. Sırf onu dedi diye şikayet etmiş ya markayı. Çok saçmaydı. Bu olay da 7-8 yıl önce söylenmiş bir şey. Oha dedim ben. Yorumlara baktım. Şikayet kısmına baktım Red Bull'un. Adam demiş ki Red Bull'u içtim ama kanatlarım çıkmamış diye. Çok saçmaydı ya. Abi ne alaka? Tamam içiyorsun da. Kanatlanma ne alaka abi? Çok saçma. O hafiflik anlamında. O onu yanlış anlamış. Reklamda da diyor ki içersen diye rahatlarsın. Rahatlarsan da diye kanatların çıkar diye. O anlamda söylüyor. Hani şey anlamında değil. Hani her içen kişi birden kanatları olacak diye bir şey demiyor. O kişi yanlış anlamış herhalde. Baya değişik bir mevzuydu. Mesela Monster enerji içeceği içtiğiniz zaman da canavar olmuyorsunuz. Neden? Çünkü markanın adı o. Monster. Yani onu içer içmez mesela canavar oluyor musunuz? Hayır. Çünkü markanın ismi ne? Monster. Onun gibi bir şey yani. O arkadaş da işte şey olmuş. Dediğim gibi yanlış anlamış. Ondan da şikayet etmiş işte. Yanlış anladığı için.
No, there's definitely some strategy, especially in a meta like this. Also, I just want to shout you out, Ark. I mean, mad respect. Maybe you will be the only right one because we've seen.
Hani Red Bull tişörtünü gördüm ya. O yüzden söylemek istedim. Ne alaka demeyin diye ben söylemek istedim. Hadi abi hadi. Bu arada bu şeyler de uzun sürüyor. Burada uzun uzun konuşuyorlar. Ondan sonra arkada da şeyler hazırlanıyor. Takımlar hazırlanıyor. Hazırlanırken, hazırlık maçı yaparken bunlar da burada sunuyor. Takımlar hakkında konuşuyor işte. Team Electros. Vay. Team Electros Humble takımını kazandı ya, yendi ya. Şimdi de Foot E-sports'a karşı oynayacak. Humble kazansaydı dediğim gibi Foot E-sports'a karşı yani oynayacaktı. Foot E-sports. Adamlar sanki gurbetçi gibi ya. Ama gurbetçi değil tabii ki. Onlar yabancı. Türk takım ama yabancılar. Hadi abi, hadi abi. Dediğim gibi böyle uzun sürüyor işte. Ya şu kit çok güzel ya. O animasyonu güzel yapmışlar bu arada. Kit'in gerçekten büyük versiyonluymuş gibi şöyle gözleriyle etrafı izliyor böyle. O güzel olmuş. Hadi abi, hadi abi.
Well, looking ahead, I'm a bit concerned that we haven't got a nanny ban actually, because that's a brawler pick which surely for esports are looking to establish. I mean, it's a wide open map. It's a great counter into Piper. The Mr. Beast ban, the Maxis ban, that tells me that for esports, I think Piper.
Bu arada beni rahat duyun diye ben sesi kıstım. Çünkü o günkü videoda fazla sesim çıkmamış. Şimdi çıkar büyük ihtimal. Beni daha rahat duyun diye ben sesi kıstım şu an. Şimdi açacağım sesi Ve izleyeceğiz. Bakalım kim kazanacak.
He's going to want to get some form of revenge over things. Again, you've got to remember that on the side of Team Electros, Rama is chasing his first monthly final win, as is Nob, as is Maybe. So you kind of forget that over time because, those players are so established and have been for so many years now that, they are still chasing their first win. They still want this massively so, and this is their opportunity to get it. So, good bans all round for me. The Grey is a good one as well. There, hovering over the nanny pick. As I'm talking, that's actually wild. And, I think that in the hands then of Team Electros actually deviating away. Oh my word. I love seeing this view. We've gone from hovering over to Nanny, picking a pipe, and now, that could be in the hands of Foot.
It's kind of interesting seeing them scroll through as well and kind of getting their exact perspective from the in-game as well. So Tick is that first overall pick, an RT and a Piper to respond. So they still draft the longer range brawlers into a Tick. This is a different map because it's just so wide open. So even though you do see the Tick on the other end, if there's more close quarters or had more walls, be a little trickier. And there's a Nani, which I think is a perfect response into this.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't pick it. They were thinking it clearly, and then they changed their mind to Piper. And if you're going to pick a Piper, you've got to expect the nanny. So in that regard, I hope that Team Electros know what they're doing and they've just got the absolute faith in that brawler to work around the situation. The Max span by themselves, so they can't tank any of the peeps with the face shift gadget of Max. So there's some concerns I have regarding there. Pearl now as well. It's definitely, a very tough comp that Team Electros are looking at. The Pearl, the Nanny, and the Tick. Tick control, and of course the Nanny to cycle the peeps coming in, and the Pearl just to cook up the
Bu arkadaş da başka ülkedenmiş. Şurada da bayrağını görebilirsiniz. O ülkenin. Görmüş olduğunuz gibi renkli. Evet, buradan da puan kazanıyorum. Buraya her bastığınızda puan alıyorsunuz. Aslında bir kere bassanız da puan alıyorsunuz. Onu da söylemiş olayım. Her maçta bir kere tıklarsanız puan alıyorsunuz. Toplam 50 puana ulaşıyorsunuz. 50-100 puana ulaşıyorsunuz. O da bayağı ilerlemenizi sağlıyor. Onu da söylemiş olayım. Maç başladı bu arada. Şimdi izleyeceğiz.
It's going to be Rama dueling against the long-range Nani. Return to Cinder Pop, and with that gadget change, they're going to have so many uses of that, which I think makes the Nani versus Piper matchup even a little bit better for their end. It's a Carl with the blue star right now, so TE for now going to be holding this lead.
Well, playing it back with the blue star is not the worst of ideas. But over time, the Tick is going to be able to establish those heads. The Nanny is going to be able to establish a peep, which is coming in as we speak and circling around. No jump available for Nob. 336 HP, but no follow-up is going to be there, allowing him to heal. He's got the damage gear as well if he needs to go for it. Nice tap, but the return descent is popped there on the top right-hand side. And that is going to be something that the Brothers will be cautious of. Nice Pearl connection, and he should burn down for that. He does.
2-1. Lead flipping over to Foot E-spors in the red, and Piper in the mid to fight this. Rama respawning left-hand side, and it's Carl getting really aggressive. He's still the one gatekeeping this blue star. That's something that's so important with the strategy of this game mode. If you have the blue star, you always have a chance at it, especially when the lead's this close.
Maybe it's in a really precarious position. Top right does manage to get some goods for it. Actually, 5 stars to then... now 9 stars to 7. Trades back and forth, left, right, and centre. All this way you look at it now. Oh my word. We're in the perspective now of Foot E-spors to clarify that as well. Who are behind now by 4 stars.
Appreciate y'all working with us, folks. It is going to be Foot back in blue. 15 seconds in the clock. 4-star lead for Team Electros. The underdogs trying to keep a strong lead here. Sharpshooter shots going down. Gero working the left-hand side. Rama, 4 stars on his noggin and needs to hold on to every one of them. Blue star still with Foot. He's going to burn down, but the trade goes through. Team Electros with the win.
Very tense. Very tense, but it is still just the start. And both sides have got a solid comp. Not going to lie, of course, we're going to see the kind of Carl establish the blue star quickly and early on. So expect them to be on the defense. But that's where, to be honest, the Team Electros comp could be undone. Ultimately, they're going to be on defense very early. So if E-spors put their foot on the gas and start to go a bit more aggressive in those early moments, then that can change hands quite quickly. But the flying hook, that's what Carl can do. Very close stuff, trades back and forth, and that's what you want to see in a match for the semi-finals. I feel like this could be quite a banger on our hands.
Here we are, Team Electros on our side of the screen. We're wallowing Rama right now, and it's going to be Pearl taking some serious heat on that top right-hand side. It's Carl once again with that blue star. That's what we should anticipate for most of this match, especially off the rip. He's going to flying hook in more than likely, and then just try and stay alive, hold on to that lead. It's a trade immediately, though. They end up grabbing this kill. That's a massive get for Foot.
Yeah, that's going to swing things quite heavily, honestly, because now he's going to allow the Pearl to sit back on defense, not have to exacerbate those shots, and then when she does want to throw them forwards, they're going to carry so much more might from every cookie that is dispersed. Now the tick hand behind that wall, if Nob can get a wall break and then just alleviate their right-hand side, it will do wonders for Team Electros now. Nob's going to be cautious now, pinched into a real box there in the mid, with those tick shots scattering around him. But again, there's no wall break for Nob. He can't expose the tick for Rama to do anything. So Rama's basically just left here a bit redundant, trying to evade the tick and trying to prevent it from getting ahead. And still one star differential. And now FaZe will starting to push their way back forwards, getting some momentum. Bob, Nob, they're almost burning down as well.
I can't help but chuckle a little bit, seeing from their direct perspective how many times Rama just flashed that possible pin. He's always ready to antagonize his enemies, that's to say the least. With 20 on the clock, though, not a lot of kills going down, and Foot's still holding on to this lead.
Well, there's a hypercharge for Nob now as well. Some good connections as well. Maybe it's coming back with some goods. That was a beautiful takedown from him on the top left-hand side. 4 stars and the 2 to only Foot. A hypercharge tick head is coming in. Peep head rather. Connects, but no damage dealt. Good taps. Saving taps for sure from Nob there. And it gives the lead over to Electros, who take the set. Unreal.
Wow. Maybe room for more upsets today. Really well played. I mean, this is Foot we're talking about. These guys are previous world champs. Their mechanics unquestionable, but a solid draft and then to follow through some solid execution. Once again, this may just be the month of upsets. I don't know, guys.
It really looks like to shape up like one of the most upsetting streams we ever had here on the BSC. I mean, for E-spors, they had everything what they needed to win that one. They had a great draft themselves. They had a good start into the round as well. And then at the end, again, Electros just rushes through here. They already ran through their knockout set against SK. Maybe it's just also mode that they really shine in, Arc.
Yeah, it's for me, it's still going to be neck and neck, I feel. I feel E-spors, of course, can absolutely bounce back from this. And I'm not going to lie, there has been moments in the past where we saw with E and E-sporting where they would get ahead of themselves. They would get a little bit cocky and they would get a little bit too overconfident, and then they would choke themselves out of things. So I've got to bear those things in mind. I mean, looking back, their best performance really was with A and R back in 2023, where they did face the Zeta Division as well in that grand finals, and Zeta Division took it to a 3-1 scoreline. So certainly that is going to be hovering over their minds as we speak, and got to put those demons to rest.
Yeah, they're really going to look forward now and head into the next set with just the same confidence that they always seem to show. The team around for the esports, after all, they have a lot of experience on the great stage and also on this stream, so they should certainly find their groove once again. Maybe it's bridged too far now that they start to win. Maybe we are going to head into set 4 after this one because they can equalize the score overall. But maybe we're going to see another 2-0 by Electros, Kenny.
Bridge too far up next, and as you can see there, obviously getting the safe part of it, but oftentimes that means long range. Oh, and that's the disrespect of the kit. I mean, even BSC's calling him out. That's so tough. That breaks my heart a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend picking kit here necessarily. Yeah, we have seen enough examples of that now working out. But a lot of long-range brawlers that have been working out in the past quite well. Yesterday we have seen this map already as well, and it looked like long-range brawlers is the way to go. Just in general, get a lot of damage down onto that save as quickly as possible. We saw Miko coming. That was a surprise yesterday. Melody, of course, slipped through the bands here. Probably the best brawler you could have here, Arc.
Certainly brings the aggression, and you can't leave it on the safe. It will shred through with the hypercharge as well. You know, those notes just, it's seconds before the game is done. And in this kind of map, you know, it's going to be very difficult to come back to defend once it is able to scoop past the brawler. So having a solid defense now very much going to be on the minds then of Team Electros. I mean, I'm liking the band so far. Bell going to be coming in, and I've been underestimating Bell's as a first pick worthy brawler, I feel like, this season so far. I always liked it as a first pick last year, but this year now it's starting to make me feel a little bit better. Maybe it's the gadget rework as well, allowing more nest eggs to actually be present on the map. That does tend to cater towards a better defense on that side of things as well. So kind of liking it for that reason, really. Sort of down to a 17-second cooldown. Eve as well, great maneuverability around that middle of the map and able to cross lanes. I think stuff like that is going to be quite crucial. The notes of the melody will be fed a little bit by the hatchlings, however, so that there's that consideration too, that it can also give melody more to bring to the table here. So definitely not straightforward, but I wouldn't mind seeing an 8-bit here, honestly. I mean, there's some good bands, the Colette, the Colt, things that I like to see banned out. Chuck, you know, I mean, it's always a scary brawler, but I do feel like it has a lot of counter, maybe just by rushing the safe.
Chuck was who I had on my mind just because of how much of a priority ban it was on this map yesterday in East Asia, and I think this still holds true here today. Chuck can be really frustrating to deal with. It's just something where he's just going to be constantly putting pressure on the enemy side. I feel like if you're playing into somebody like Team Electros, who currently have it's good damage, it's fine damage, but that's more of a control composition in my mind, and where I think Chuck can thrive is if his team can take a lead, hold on to it, and keep getting that consistent damage. 8-bit, certainly able to dish out more damage and go high safe, though, so I think Team Electros need a little juice.
I like it, you know, I called it. I feel like that is going to be a good shout for Team Electros, but again, they are against the clock. That can't be denied. They're not really having too much DPS, honestly, with the Eve and the Bell as well, so the Eve does have to really pull its weight in gold. You know, one thing as well regarding the Chuck is setup time, so there's going to be that consideration too, but there's no defensive measure, really. The Bell and the Mark, you know, that is going to have to really help a lot out on defense. We saw this yesterday in East Asia also, and it was Levi that was really doing a fantastic job in that brawler pick, and I think it was into a Miko on this map back then. He's going to have to pull the same stunts, really, on the side of Mavius, because definitely a Chuck on the safe. It's a matter of time before the game can be over. So Robert's able to position himself straight onto the safe immediately here, and now he's set up.
Now he's already in the mid, and now going to be moving forward. Another train post set up and established, so he's going to be able to get a direct connection to the other end. This is where Chuck can shine. I'm sure you all know from ranked or ladder games at home, it's going to be a really frustrating brawler to deal with, especially when all four go down, and he's just sending it in once again. 4% now climbing. It's just so much work that Chuck can put in, especially if left unnoticed.
Yeah, they're just leaving the Chuck completely. I think they've got to get a balance between getting some taps and trying to eradicate it and rushing the safe. And at the moment, Team Electro's not really doing that, not really sure where to go themselves. And now defending a bit better. There's a nest egg down as well for the hatchlings to spur out for Rama. But yeah, I don't feel like Team Electro's are in any form of control of this game so far. They get some good damage, but it's been a bit of a wild ball they have.
Foot E-spors going to hold on to a small lead for now, and now it's neck and neck all of a sudden, flipping over to the other perspective. It's going to be the red side being Foot. Chuck diving in once again, bringing that high safe well below 10%. He's so close. One more dive in would be enough. Garo trying to move down the map. Left-hand side has the musical notes. It's TE, full-on defense right now. They're not letting Meow get a single shot on there.
Can you imagine if they get this down? Oh, no, not quite. Nob couldn't get around there to get the angle, but there was a world in which if all three members landed every shot, I don't think that Chuck would have hit, not with the damage booster down there, and that could have been enough to be held to fight on and just get the final shred of damage. Really quite close when you look at it that way, but again, the early outset was very much in favour of Foot. The beginning of the game, Alexis was completely flustered and overwhelmed with the Chuck getting set up so quick, and then they just weren't really communicating. You can see that in the gameplay. The communication was not there.
Really difficult one to deal with because, like I mentioned before, this just feels like a very control-oriented comp. And Bell and Eve can certainly get those kills, but if you're not staying on top of your game the entire time, we saw there, Foot E-spors can run away a little bit with it, and about 20% of a lead there was enough for them to hold on, get the Chuck rotating in. Now they have Melody on the other side. They're marking her up, and they still get that kill on Bell. This could be an issue. Meow letting loose as well, so Foot E-spors should be able to handle this safe for a good bit of damage.
So only 10% in it, but on the defense of it, I feel like Team Electros, if they were a bit cleaner in their approach, it wouldn't be nearly as close. But they're missing a lot of shots and whiffing along the way, and that's not healthy for them. Because again, now he's going in now, getting some good value. Doesn't quite reach the safe, however, still got the post set up for it. So maybe some errors or just hasn't got himself fully in position. But regardless, the Legends can't really access the safe at the moment in time. Still that 10% differential. If Nook can get towards things and just get extra credits onto the safe, that would go such a long way here. But so far, defense is strong from foot.
Chuck's going to be able to get a final train post down, and Garrow riding the left-hand in and out. Chuck, so much value. Every time he gets a kill on top of that, it's just one quicker ride he can get to the other end of the map. Meow laying on a little damage too, looking for a kill on Mebius. Good dodges out of him. Knob in the middle, playing defense, 38%, but all of a sudden, it's more Chuck action, bringing that save all the way down to 6%. So once again, have to be a perfect attempt here from Team Electros.
The damage boost on the right-hand side. Chuck's going to be going through the middle here. There's no DPS. It's going to land on the safe and get the job done for 4. And they're just going to get the damage which they need. And it's going to go the way then of foot. We're all going to be tied up in this set.
Beautifully played. And for me, I think that did come down to draft. I feel like sometimes, again, it's so hard to juggle everything in this professional meta. But for me, seeing him yesterday and past just years of experience, Chuck is somebody that can't be an issue into those control-oriented compositions. They went with 8-bit, I think, to try and attempt to get some high-stake damage, some good defense, but I just don't think it was enough at the end of the day. Chuck really thrives when you're ahead of the map and on the base race.
I do agree with you, Kenny. I definitely feel like that came down to draft. Not only that the Chuck slipped through, but also that Melody, probably one of the best bowlers you can have on Bridge Too Far. She can rush up to save so quickly, supporting the Chuck's role in also just rushing up to save and doing a lot of damage. This set now definitely felt like Foot E-spors found back to their old selves. The stats also speak for maybe a story arc.
Yeah, I mean, great on defense, but again, as they're coming in, it's down to really the 8-bit player, which Knob in the end of the draft to really land the damage onto the safe. He was the win condition of which Electros drafted as the final pick, and by that point, they had already dug themselves a bit of an early grave with the lack of DPS in the Bell and the Eve, and that was prominent. We can see that quite clearly. So Knob had to make up for that difference, really, and it put a lot of pressure on him. He didn't quite get the access to the safe. A lot of defensive measures in place by Foot there, especially with the Lola pick, in my opinion. But that's the way draft goes. I don't think it was a losing draft necessarily for Electros, but one that they were behind in by that stage, and they just had to make the 8-bit count to more avail, and it just didn't.
After that 2-3 turn, when you have Bell and Eve, it is just a perfect answer there to go with Chuck. You have a Melody under control, and then a Lola for extra DPS, a good amount of range, and then into some of these more projectile brawlers, something like an Eve, something like a Bell, even though the shot does bounce off. If you have a Lola clone down, it's at least able to take a little bit of that damage, put in some extra work, and you kind of saw it there in the context of the stats too. Bell and Eve just couldn't dish out enough into that high save. You have to play perfect defense, and that's a lot to ask out of any pro player.
In the end, Foot E-spors manages to equalize the score overall. We're now 1-1 in sets, and we're definitely seeing 4 sets of this matchup. We're heading into another map now that really heavily relies on draft. We just saw how important draft really is, and if here, for example, a Mr. P slides through arc, he's gonna demolish your opponents.
Yeah, but also I feel like, Team Electros, for example, are that aggressor. Like, when they get a draft that's wrong, it's really wrong kind of thing. And when they get one that's really suited for them, it's the steamroll. They could really kind of get the balance in their drafting, and sometimes that can work in their favor. I don't think that we're going to see Mr. P. I think it's going to be straight up banned. It's that kind of map and mode where, at this stage of the competition, in the semi-finals, that's going to really just undermine your entire approach here. But certainly Gray, I think, is a worthy first pick, in my opinion, and a good deterrent of the throwers. Certainly as well, like Gus, I think is a big player on this map, not the flashiest of brawlers, but one that's is always a safe pair of hands and has the potential to combine the shield that, in the late stages of knockout is quite the thing to keep you alive. So definitely some options here.
I feel like Gray was a really good call for arc.
It's not bad.
That 1,000 HP really goes a long way thanks to his hypercharge. But yes, Gray is banned out, and Mr. P that I was talking about isn't.
Yani kaybetmeleri, yani eşitlenmeleri beni şaşırttı bu arada. Neden bu kadar şey oldu onu anlamadım. Burada E-spors da Humble takımı gibi olmuş ya. Bu hoşuma gitmedi yani açıkçası. Burada E-spors kaybetmezdi Humble takımı gibi ama beraber olmaları, yani Team Electros'la beraber kalmaları beni şaşırttı açıkçası. Kalmadılar aslında da daha devam edecek. Şaşırttı açıkçası. Normalde öne geçerlerdi E-spors ama ne olduysa eşit kaldılar. Şu anda eşitler gördüğünüz gibi.
I mean, to be honest, I think I saw as well that Mr. P doesn't have the strongest of win rates in the region in terms of the scrims as well, slightly under 50%. So, like, that is a consideration that there is some strategy against the Mr. P approach. But I feel with the Sprout, it's going to be having a tough time dealing with it. I'd kind of like to see it show its face at least here. But Ollie, I think, makes tons and tons of sense. Oh, wow, that's a comment that I don't think I've seen so far yet. With a kid potentially here as well. Oh, that's actually going to be quite disgusting. I mean, if the kit connects to the Ollie and the E-spors don't have the ability to push this early on, then that's going to take so much DPS to take down if that is the case. I'm worried now for...
I'm too. I think this is a tricky one to navigate because they've removed the wall break. So instead, Team Electros are just going to get aggressive. They're going to go kit for either instant dives, and I mean, especially onto a squishier brawler like Sprout, that's an easy one to kind of handle quickly if you're an entire team with free shots. Somebody like Ollie could pierce through those potential Mr. P porters if that was the direction they wanted to go. Kit can be able to heal up an aggressive ally, and Kit in general, last month didn't have his best performance. The win rate was not great across the world, but I don't think you can necessarily give up on it, and this is an instance where I actually think this might work out pretty well for them.
Yeah, loser's solid response. I think that probably that we would not expect to see, and there's another one, really, in my opinion, on this map and mode. But that's credit to Foot. They're playing the drop for what they're seeing on the other side of the field. But I've got to be honest, I don't feel like they were expecting this. I mean, often we see, in the scrims data and brawler ideas that are being floated around that teams are preparing their approach and their prep process, but I don't think this was the plan. I think in terms of what we're seeing draft-wise, it makes a lot of sense. It's just kind of like Team Electros floating around this idea, which is a scary idea. It's actually forcing the hand for esports, and if it works out, I think it's really smart because they're trying to take esports away from their comfort zone, and that's in the past historically where I've seen them falter. So, it's a question of really, is this kit Ollie going to work? I think Ollie's by far an S-tier brawler in this meta. It's a very open map, but the gadgets that he has to his advantage here, just to be able to literally just jump over the wall at the touch of a green button, the regulate gadget's got a 17-second cooldown in that regard to give you a perspective on the time frames. But, I mean, when it lands, the hypnosis takes its toll very quickly, and with the kit combination as well, the healing and the tankiness, it's definitely very scary.
1-1 overall.
Ve sürekli takılıyor gördüğünüz gibi. Niye takılıyor hiçbir fikrim yok. Yani açıkçası. Sürekli takılıyor şansı ise. Şanslarına hep takılıyor.
That is still around and doing quite well, trying to shake things up for Brawl Cup and things like that for now. Each side just trying to get that utility charged up. Now that Kit has his super, this will change the interactions.
Yeah, as well, you can see there the kit push gadget as well for Nob. It's utilising the speed from the walls there as well. All nice connection there with the kit onto the barrel, but it's going to be a trade on both sides, 2 versus 2. Nob needs to heal, and maybe it's full HP in quite a deep position here. Might get pinched if he's not careful. So he's trying to wait for his teammate to respawn back in on the HP side of things, really, and trying to get this pinch off. But it's going to be quite a tough thing as the gas comes in as well. Nob's going to get a much better position than that Ollie pick.
Likely a jump there, connecting the dots a little bit, but I think Nob got out of the way due to a gadget, that wall cutting him off, and it looks like that round's going to clean up. So we're seeing Team Electros right now with a 1-round lead. Kit, once again, going to be hiding in that mid-grass in the middle of this map, behind the indestructible walls in the middle that you see there. Ollie does have a super available. Maybe is holding back right now. A Sprout wall to cut off that lane. So RT running for the hills while Kit can ride the back of Nob. There's the combination we were looking for. A big dive in. The hypnosis. Nasty work coming out of him. First one falls. Garo, the next to crumble. Now he trying to do what he can. Grabs one. But in a 2v1 situation, it's just going to be a lone Daryl. Pretty difficult situation to deal with as he's low HP. Popping a hypercharge here. That seemed a little crazy. But ultimately he was going to lose in the game anyways. Didn't have a lot of hope. Might as well go for it.
I love this comp. I really do. This is the thing that I'm really impressed with Electricity so far today. Some drafts that are just a bit crazy. And when they don't work, it's quite the opposite of when they do. You know, it's very convincing when they're bad, and it's equally as convincing on the other side of the field when they're strong. And right now, I don't see an answer here, but they've got to rush realistically in this first round. They've got to go straight towards the kit and try to prevent that being a thing, because you know, at the moment, Brahma's charging up. If they lose the round, and then you know, Brahma takes that the next round.
Hatta şuradaki rozeti göstereceğim size. Daha fazla beklemek istemiyorsanız hemen rozeti göstereceğim. Bekleyin bir saniye. İşte burada gördüğünüz rozeti alabiliyorsunuz. Şu rozeti. Hani kafasında tac olan rozet var ya, onu alabiliyorsunuz. Bunu göstermiş oldum size. Neyse. Video bu kadardı. Videoya like atıp ve kanala abone olup bildirimleri açıp tüm yaparsanız efsane olur. Bunu da söyledikten sonra bay bay. Ve aramıza yeni katılan arkadaşlara da hoş geldiniz diyorum. Bunu da söyledikten sonra bay bay. Yarın görüşmek üzere.